So, will I make more money on a trade doing high leverage? Is high leverage more risky? Is low leverage safer? Let's check it out. So, let's say we are doing a 10x leverage trade. We can do, let's start with 5,000 contracts and calculate from there. Let's say we want to do a long from 92.11, 10x leverage. The cost, the margin requirement for this trade would be pretty much 0.055 XBT. If we change the leverage to something like 50x, you see that the margin requirement will be much lower than at 10x, and at 100x even lower. So when changing the leverage, we are changing the margin requirement. What we are also changing is the liquidation price. Let's check this example. As at the 10x leverage, the liquidation price for this position will be pretty much 84. At 50x, it's getting close, 9,066.5, and at 100x, it's only $55 from the entry. So when changing the leverage, we are changing the margin requirement and the leverage and the liquidation price. I will talk about liquidations and the insurance fund and so on in a different video later. So let's do an example. Let's say we do this 92.11 long and exit at 95.11. On this trade with 5,000 contracts, we will make a profit of 0.0171 XBT. If we change the leverage, you see that the profit does not change, only the margin and also the liquidation price, as we saw. If I change it to 10x, you see that the profit still didn't change. So higher leverage does not mean more profits. So okay, it will increase the ROE percentage, but that doesn't matter. It's all about the XBT. See it here too. I can actually change the leverage on this position just to show you. So the unrealized P&L in XBT is 0.0158. If I change it to 100, you see that the XBT profit is the same, only the ROE percentage increased, but that doesn't matter. What you will see is that my available balance increased. So if I have an existing position, I can actually change the leverage as long as it doesn't break any other trade setups I have to 100x. So if I have a stop loss before the entry, so I cannot lose money, I can just change the stop loss, change the leverage to 100x to free up this margin use. You see, if I decrease the margin to like 3x and 2x, my available balance is decreased. So it's sometimes useful to use high leverage on existing positions in profit and just free up some margin. So, but let's check this low leverage example. So in this example with 5,000 contracts, I can change the back here. If this position is liquidated at some crazy low point from some manipulation or some insane wicks, low liquidity stuff in BitMEX, if I'm doing 3x leverage, because some people say it's safer. If this position is liquidated, I will actually lose all my account pretty much, because this position will require all my capital at 3x leverage. So a low leverage will actually increase my margin risk of the account if I'm getting licked. Of course, you will want a stop loss before the liquidation price and all that, but doing 50x or 3x leverage doesn't matter for the risk based on the stop loss. Let's say we're doing a stop loss at 91.55. See, the loss is 0.035. That's more or less a proper risk for this account. Doing 50x, the loss will be the same, but the margin use, if this position is getting liquidated, is much less on 50x than on 3x. And sometimes 50x or even higher might be a proper risk for a trade, as long as the stop loss is before the liquidation price. Any leverage is okay, but you want a little bit of room between your stop loss price and the liquidation price, but you don't need much. So a high leverage isn't necessarily more risky than a low leverage trade. But I know from where some of this misconception is made, because what many people do, they don't care about risk at all. So they do something like, let's see, yeah, okay. So they use high leverage to be able to do a super big position, and just think that, oh, they are cool, they're doing a very big position. The problem is, if this position fails, and this will most likely do, and it's actually liquidated before the exit here. So if this position fails, they're losing the entire account on this one trade. So this isn't the proper way to trade. You don't use leverage to be able to do super high risk. You're using high leverage to reduce your margin requirements and your margin risk for the trade if something crazy would happen. And even experienced traders might do something wrong. So you don't have to be stupid to get liquidated. It might be an exchange failure. You might have a typo in your stop loss. Stuff might happen. So it's smart to use a decently high leverage as long as the stop loss is before the liquidation price.